Get underway with a celebration of the sport of kings, where the Kings of Louisville go to work against the Battlehawks of St. Louis. On the run at the 12-yard line, Tyler Hudson weaving across the 30 and down just shy of the 35, where Chandler Rogers will go to work. And Devin Gardner, he was really impressive last week in his first start. Got help from the defense and the run game. Yeah, he was, but it starts in practice. And I went to practice earlier in the season, before the season started, and then I went to practice earlier this week. It's the same guy, whether he's a starter or not. He's been a leader of this football team, and his confidence permeates throughout the entire offense. James Robinson is the running back. Motion across on first down. Rogers, short toss over the middle, and it's Caden Prather out to the 42-yard line. Let's talk players to watch when Louisville has the ball, Deb. Yeah, Zach Davidson is a guy who they are really excited about, and they like the mismatches he can create. And Tariq Black is healthy, and he's looking for a big day. Now, Peter Damoy-Payne and Carlos Davis are going to work together to collapse the pocket. Davis from the inside, Peter from the outside, because that could create issues for a shorter quarterback. Sack and a half for Damoy-Payne this year. Second down and 3. On the ground and about a yard short of the first down is James Robinson. Last week, they proved they could run the football. They're coming off their best run game of the year, 147 yards on 29 carries.
Liz off, 4 blunt. On one, ready. No, right here.
Third and 1. Robinson again. Powers over the right side, and he's got the first down to the 46-yard line. And Devin, getting that running game going was not an easy process for this Louisville offense. Chris Redmond had to make a ton of changes in the offensive line. Only one starter remains from week 1.
Yeah, not only offensive line, in the backfield as well. A lot of guys are getting opportunities, and they had great success a week ago. And even with that success, they're still last in the league in rushing.
Lucky Jackson, the last motion man. Rogers, pressure up the middle, able to elude that rush, and it's dropped at midfield. There's Zach Davidson, normally sure-handed, just can't pull that one in.
Yeah, it's the perfect call for the defense. You've got shallow cross. We call that mesh, right? And so when you mesh, you are going to get a guy wide open because the natural pick. He's open. Chandler finds a way to get outside and make the throw. He has to make that catch for his young quarterback.
Easy. Here we go. Salute.
On second down, Rogers wide open and just off the fingertips of Caden Prather.
I mean, this is a really nice read. You're going to get the cornerback coming down, and it's going to allow the receiver to run right behind him, and you hit that ball right in the hole between the safety and corner. Again, you have to make these plays for your quarterback.
F-sword burst. On one, ready.
Third down and 10. 36% conversion rate this year, 5th in the UFL. Rogers will step up with all kinds of time, finds the open man. Lucky Jackson inside the 30, and a first down for Louisville.
Though the St. Louis defense chases across the field, it's not man-to-man coverage, and Chandler Rogers does a nice job of just waiting for the vacancy in the defense and getting the ball to his receiver on his face. A perfect throw and a conversion on third down.
25-yard pickup to the former Western Kentucky product, Lucky Jackson.
Yes.
First down and 10 at the 29. Battlehawks show pressure and some trouble on the mesh, and Rogers is pounded down for a loss. Pushing through was Leonard Payne, and that play was blown up from the start, Devin.
Yeah, I mean, he does such a nice job. A lot of times those defensive linemen in the interior, they're not used to reading the read option, but he defeats the center right away and just collapses the quarterback to the ground.
Did you get it?
Loss of 5 on the play, and it's second down. Javonte Payton was the motion man. Rodgers quick toss to the 25, spinning to the 22, and stacked up there, short of the first down. And it'll bring up third, and Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator, looking for a big third down call here.
If we're incomplete, take the points.
Head coach at East Carolina, Steve Logan.
Here we go, salute.
And a third down. Rodgers with pressure, floats it to the end zone. The pass incomplete. He was trying to hit Davidson, but that pressure got there quickly, Devin.
Yeah, it's zero coverage, and what zero coverage means is there's no safety back, and it's playing man-to-man across the board. It's the perfect call. You can see Chandler Rodgers goes to whatever signal he gave to his wide receivers. The slot fade is indefensible in man coverage. He just doesn't get enough air on the football, and it's incomplete. But that's a productive drive, and he puts his team in position to get points on the board.
A 40-yard try for Tanner Brown, who you see has been very good this year. 14 of 15, a long of 59. This from 40 into the setting sun, and the kick on the way, and it is good. And a 3-0 start for the Louisville Kings. They've won 2.
Just arrived. He has gotten a really good handle on the offense, so the leash will not be as long as it has been in the past.
Gary Jennings. Kevon Latulis, the deep men, it's Latulis from the 20 across the 25. Latulis with a good return across the 35 and down near the 38-yard line. And we've talked about this quarterback position all season long. It was Brandon Silvers. Now it's Harrison Frost. And as we talked with head coach Ricky Prohl, the first thing he said, Devin, was, I need to see more from him.
Yeah, they said this is not something that he hasn't shared with Frost. He's been up, but he's been down. He needs to find somewhere in the middle and raise his floor if he wants to remain the quarterback of the Battlehawks.
Ready, go!
Starting from the 37-yard line, Latulis in motion. And Latulis with the catch, trying to find some room on the sideline. Picks up 2 to the 39-yard line. All right, St. Louis with the ball. Who are some players to watch?
Yeah, it's really the whole running back room, but Javian Howard, he should be able to be productive against the league's second worst rush defense. And then Hakeem Butler, he's open by biology. He's going to create opportunities for running lanes because you should have to double them. And then Jaheim Thomas and Cam Gill are the leader in UFL tackles and sacks, respectively.
2nd and 8. Sling it to the sideline where Tyler Neville is there. And Neville out near the 42-yard line. Picks up 3, and now a third down coming up for Harrison Frost in these Battlehawks.
You can see the initial presentation for the defense of Louisville is man-to-man coverage. But on third down here, I expect that they're going to dedicate extra guys to number 88 in those silver jerseys, Hakeem Butler, who's in motion. Now it makes it a lot more difficult to double him from that position.
Third down and 5. Looking for some space, now running for the first down and a slide for Harrison Frost. He gets up looking for extra on a penalty with the hit on the slide. No flag, and it's first down, St. Louis.
So they have a guy in front, but they also have a guy in the back end over the top of Butler, right? So now you want to go to him, it's not there. A quick decision by Frost to bring the ball down and rush for the first down. An outstanding job by him because that is not his real game. Very good there.
Ready, go!
He told us, I got to play clean, I've got to protect the ball. So far, so good. Draw play on first down, trying to find some space, and not much there. That lane closing quickly on Howard, and it's 2nd down. We've got a flag down as well.
I got one.
Yeah, he's got one. You got to get both.
One.
Yeah.
For who? For 1 and 8. 1 and 8.
1 and 8. One for St. Louis.
Sorry, 1 at St. Louis. Number 8 on.
Okay. Unnecessary roughness, offsetting. Dead ball.
Dead ball.
Okay.
There are dead ball fouls on both teams. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 1, St. Louis. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 8, Louisville. Those penalties offset. 2nd down.
Ja'Cour Pearson of St. Louis, Mekhi Garner of Louisville.
Keep your eyes there. Oh, a little extra there. You know, I'm just going to tell you, Ja'Cory Pierce is not a very big man, right? And so when you get a little extra pull of the jersey, he's not going to be bullied. So he's going to fight back, and I like the offsetting penalties.
To the sideline, and the first catch for Hakeem Butler. When in doubt, target the 6'6" former Cyclone from Iowa State.
Anytime you get an opportunity to play man-to-man, he has to be the guy that gets the football. He's running on the corner. An outstanding job of timing by the quarterback, Frost.
Broncos play pass. Regular.
A.J. Smith, the offensive coordinator, also current quarterback coach for the Colorado Buffaloes. Fresh set of downs, first down and 10. Pressure coming. Wanted the outlet. Is that behind the line of scrimmage? If it is, it's recovered by Louisville. If it's a forward pass, it's incomplete. Cam Gill there to smother it just in case.
Ruling on the field is a backward pass, be covered by the defense. First and 10, Louisville.
So the ruling on the field is a backward pass. Gill all over it. King's ball.
This is going to be very close here, Kevin. So he throws the ball from the 46, it looks like. And then it's touched. That's close.
It's parallel. It's parallel, so we're going to leave this backwards. It has to be forward, so we're going to leave this as backward. Go from the release to where it's first touched.
Here we go.
So the call on the field stands. It is going to be Louisville ball. And
That's a great job by that Louisville defense to continue to play and recover that fumble. Otherwise, it could have stayed with St. Louis.
And on first down, nowhere to run for Ian Wheeler. Last week's star stymied up front, and the first man there was Jordan Williams.
Wide shallow robot. Make it lead bunch. 3 scat. Wide shallow robot.
Let's go. Make it lead bunch. 3 scat. Wide shallow robot. On ready.
So when you hear 3 scat, that alerts you that this is a free release by the running back. The running back doesn't have blocking responsibility, and now when he moves on that side, he will go there.
Yep.
In the shallow aspect, will be from the wide, the tight end.
Out of hurry, just got the snap. Rogers pressure comes in trouble, and he's swallowed up. It's a sack by Carlos Davis, the former Nebraska Cornhusker, with 4.5 sacks on the season.
This is the player I talked about to watch because he pushes the inside of the pocket. He's right here to the left of the center, playing one-on-one there. When you have a guy in the middle that pushes the pocket and doesn't allow the quarterback to step up, it makes it increasingly difficult for any quarterback to play. But it's especially difficult for a quarterback of a smaller stature.
Loss of 6, and now 3rd and 17. Rogers off the fingertips. Second drop today for Zach Davidson.
And another player to watch with Davidson. He's a guy who creates mismatches. You can see he's been open twice, and he hasn't been able to come down with the catch. They really love his game, but he has to find a way to make a play for his quarterback. That's a big missed opportunity there.
Big stop by that Battlehawk defense on the sudden change. Because the drive started at the 49, they can't punt, and they will to the 15-yard line. Sean Fresh trying to find a little bit of a crease, and he's down at the
number last week. Can they continue that tonight is the question.
On first down, there's Butler with the catch and twisting his way for the first down to the 33-yard line.
We already talked about it previously in this game. If they're in man-to-man coverage, they are going to get the ball to number 88. The question is, can Louisville disguise their man-to-man coverage and find a way to show man-to-man and then go into a different coverage to double team?
And then going with a little tempo after the Butler catch, the quick handoff to Jarvion Howard, and a first down for St. Louis.
And Kevin, with those 2 already free access receptions, I expect that they will not allow 88 and Silver to continue to play one-on-one for the rest of this game.
Scissors. Ready, go.
And the handoff, Howard, first down, powers his way to the 46-yard line. Let's listen to defensive coordinator Jamie Sharper.
pirate cover 2, over pirate cover 2, over pirate 2.
Right, so you hear that, cover 2. They're going to remove 2 safeties out of the box, right? So now you get the numbers on offense where you can run the football, and that's what Hakeem Butler does. He forces you to remove players from the box, and so now you have running lanes.
To get some space, and then Neville pays the price. Big hit from Steel Chambers. Back to Sharper.
Got 51, call 88. 51, call 88. 51, call 88. Bracket 88. Bracket 88.
You hear it now, you got 88 in the call. Bracket 88. They're going to make sure that 88 has 2 guys on him. Here's the bracket guy that's going to help on Hakeem Butler at the top of your screen.
2nd and 9. Over the middle into all kinds of traffic. That pass incomplete. Nowhere to go for Harrison Frost.
Down. What he got? 12, stop, go back, stop, right. Open three. Hey, outside wide, open 3.
So over 3, now you're going to get safety in the middle, but you're going to get free access on the outside. The ball should go outside to Hakeem Butler.
Frost looking that direction, throws, juggling attempt. Was Butler in bounds? He was not. He juggled it as he teetered on the sideline and just couldn't secure it with the feet in bounds.
Let's take a look and see if he can secure the catch. It's a good break by Dancer, even though he's in zone coverage. His feet are oh, that right foot is out of bounds. He's not able to secure the catch there. But that's a good mind game that you're seeing with the defensive coordinator, Jamie Sharper, and offensive coordinator, A.J. Smith. If they see one-on-one coverage, they're going to get the ball to their best player. If not, they're going to have to make other decisions.
Lucky Jackson is the deep man awaiting this punt. And Jackson with the fair catch. And the Swiss has not been shut out in the first quarter all season, but they are in danger of that here as Louisville starts at the 18-yard line, first down. And a handoff up the middle for a couple to James Robinson out to the 20-yard line.
Huddle. 11.
77 landmark. The 7 down lead. 77 landmark.
Here we go. Let's go. Lead. 77 landmark. On one ready.
Chandler Rogers in his second start with a 2nd down and 8 and a 3-0 lead. Rogers down the sideline, wide open at midfield. A move made by Tariq Black, and he's pulled down from behind at the 36 of St. Louis. A strike from Rogers to Black on a 44-yard gain.
Another player to watch, but watch his route. Watch the subtle movement at the top. He starts to slow down, and he sprints past Ojemudia for a huge gain. A perfectly thrown ball with the safety over the top. Outstanding start to the drive.
97 yards in this first quarter for Chandler Rogers.
Here we go, salute.
Pressure comes. Rogers heaves it down the sideline, incomplete. Looking for Javante Payton. As we go back to that play a moment ago, the 44-yard completion.
Yeah, take a look at the former Wolverine and Texas Longhorn. He gives such a subtle move, and then the throw is just so perfect. He stops his feet just a bit, and he just drops it in the hole. And then you got to get more if you're Tariq Black. He is fully healthy, and he is looking to have a breakout game. Outstanding job by number 17 in green.
And you talk about health. That was what plagued him at Michigan. He battled injury through his time there. Spent a year at Texas and then has bounced around the NFL on various practice squads. Looking for some space, and Robinson finds it. A little stiff arm and a shove out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Finally catching up is Taylor Hawkins, but the best run of the night for the Kings, if it stands, there's a flag.
Holding. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
J.D. Lorenzo negates the 16-yard run.
Ricky, 2 J.
Let's go. Good one. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Far to Ricky. 2 bunt. Zebra. Landmark switch. I'm ready.
That's tough.
2 jet.
There's the hold right there late. It looks like initially he's like, I don't see a hold, but then he starts to grab the linebacker and spin him down to the ground so he can't make the play. I like the call.
Set. Blue 88. Blue
Lucky Jackson in motion at 2nd and 20. Rogers steps away from pressure. On the run, jumps the pass out to Robinson, and Robinson gets good yardage and out of bounds at the 32.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
But back it up, Jalen Thomas, and it negates enough of the Louisville offense.
I'm thinking he might go draw.
It was the left guard.
3 as we start the second with Devin Gardner, Jake Butt on the sideline. I'm Kevin Kugler. Good to have you with us as we start week 6 in the UFL. And the second quarter begins with a 2nd and 28. Rogers over the middle, gets it to midfield, and down at the 48 is Javante Payton.
Is there. Is there. I know.
Yonder Roy, 76 landmark switch.
Let's go Yonder Roy,
you hear that
76 landmark
midfield.
switch. Oh, already.
When you hear that landmark, we heard it
Let's go,
earlier.
let's go, let's go.
That's a deep throw, but now you've added the switch, right? So that means you're going to come here, you're going to go inside, and now it's verticals with the switch release.
3rd and 22, and flags down again, and this will back him up 5.
Full start. Offense number 0. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, Devin, it's 3rd and 27, but since they've already crossed midfield on this drive, they cannot punt, so they're going to have to go for it. The rule in the UFL this year is once you cross midfield, no matter what happens the rest of that drive, you cannot punt the football away.
Hero chip on one.
Or you cannot go, you have to go for it. You cannot punt it once you've crossed midfield.
And Kevin, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm going to be very soft. So I think a screen here would be good, but also just throw a quick throw and allow the receiver to do the rest of the work.
Here's the side pressure, and it's dropped. James Robinson had it hit him in the hands. That is dropped, and now 4th and 27. They've got to go.
Now, Kevin, I'm not an offensive coordinator. However, I know that there aren't a bunch of 4th and 27 plays in the playbook.
But there are some late flags here.
It's going to be 4th down, right? UNR 29, St. Louis. Okay. After the play was over, there are dead ball fouls on both teams. Personal foul number 29, St. Louis. Personal foul number 0, Louisville. Those penalties offset. Down counts. 4th down.
So Sean Fresh of St. Louis and Lucky Jackson of Louisville are second offsetting penalties called tonight.
The tensions are high for an offense that's controlled the ball and had it for a while. That defense has been on the field for quite some time to start this game. But they have the advantage here. The only way that Louisville gets out of this is if there's a huge bust or if there's a penalty on the defense and unsportsmanlike and it's not offsetting.
4th and 27. Toss it short. Robinson at least getting a little extra yardage to work with for his defense as he's down near the 40.
Anticipating the races coming up versus business or sports?
You know, the races, there's a little bit more stress and pressure, especially this being the Derby and the Oaks, which we have Zany in the Oaks and Renegade in the Derby, but I can't control as much. In business, at least I get to call some more shots. I got a horse, a jockey, and a trainer. They call the shots.
So I know you want to remain impartial. You're the face of the UFL, but your horse is named Renegade. How do you balance that?
Well, we root for the Renegades maybe when they play football and root for Renegade when they run. But you know what? It's this game right here. This one on Thursday night is really, really special because I envisioned this last year right before I invested that we should do like a Thursday night Derby game, and the crowd has been great. Louisville's been awesome.
Yeah, Louisville's coming off 2 straight wins, but still seeking that first home win. What do you think it would mean to this city to get their first home win?
I mean, first of all, Chris Redmond is from here. And for him and his family, it would be huge. But for this city, honestly, obviously, I need to be partial here. But at the end of the day, the home team here deserves a win. They had that game against Orlando. But they're a great fan base. They've been here for game 3, and we have guys out there dressed in kings and queens and painting themselves green. It's a lot of passion.
All right, Mike, thank you. Good luck this weekend with the races. Yep.
Well, Renegade drew the inside #1 post for Saturday's Run for the Roses. The last horse to win from that position,
Hey, 53 on one, ready?
1986, it was Ferdinand.
Hey,
We'll
52,
see if
52.
make a little history
52,
for Mike Rapoli
52.
and Renegade at the Derby this weekend.
Ready to go!
Second down and 10 for St. Louis. And the toss to Kylan James. James steps out of the first tackle and gets good yardage after the catch and leaves St. Louis dead with a very short 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that's a really nice quick decision by Frost to get that ball out early. When you get it to the check down early, it allows him to run and make plays.
Denver punch out. Hey, Denver punch out. Denver.
I talked to A.J. Smith. He wanted to recapture that running ability of their offense and show that toughness. I expect this ball to be on the ground here.
Play fake, looking for space. Frost to throw, incomplete. 3rd and 2 turns into 4th and 2, and let's listen in. They're going to bring on the field goal unit. Ramiz Ahmed, who was signed this week when Tucker McCann was injured and ruled out for the rest of the season. Ahmed kicked 6 games with Birmingham in 2024. He was 10 of 13, was with the Maulers in the old USFL, hit from 61 in 2022. This from 42. And Ahmed's kick slips inside the right upright and is true. A 3, the most elaborate crown of anyone on our crew on his head by his ask.
Sword. I can neither confirm or deny any of the accusations being presented on this broadcast.
And an opportunity down the sideline for Tyler Hudson. Crown him already out of bounds inside the Battlehawk 40.
You know, I said I can't confirm or deny whether I'm wearing a crown or not, but Hudson is showing his crown as he gets this kickoff. Let me tell you a little bit more about Tyler Hudson. When we talked to the coaching staff, Chris Redmond, he spoke so glowingly about this kid as a gym rat, a guy that is always in the building, and he's walking around the building saying, you gotta go home at some point. And when you stay in the building, you work hard, you get opportunities, you get to produce the way he just did.
52-yard return, the longest by the Kings this year. And the former member of Dresden in the German Football League sets up Louisville at the 37 of St. Louis. Rogers gonna have to tuck this one and he'll lose yardage.
Let's go. Rip, zip, rip, zip. OP2 jet. Z drive, late burst. I'm already.
Hey, ice.
2nd and 11, not a sack because he tucked it to run, so it's just a loss of 1 on the play. High snap, Rogers pulls it down to the sideline wide of Tariq Black, and it's 3rd down and long.
Hey, run it.
Listen in one more time to Chandler Rogers.
5, Iowa Thunder. Liz off 5, Iowa Thunder. Liz off 5, Iowa Thunder.
You want Darren? No. Let's go. Liz off 5, Iowa Thunder. I'm already.
Right, so when you hear rip or Liz, that's usually a 5-man protection, but they expect the ball to be out quickly, right? So expect quicks on the outside. But with these press defenders, there may be conversions.
And looking for space is Wheeler, and he's tripped up. An ankle tackle by Daniel Isom. Really nice play. There was yardage on that side, and Isom with the ankle tackle to stymie the run.
And it's so good by Isom because that's a good change by the quarterback. He sees that you got press on the outside. You don't want to throw quicks into press, and so you go to a run, and they have an angle, but he comes out of the middle of the field and just chops him down. He didn't have a chance.
So Tanner Brown trying to cash in for 3 after the long return by Tyler Hudson. 53-yard try for Brown. Back Brown on the hold, and the kick on the way, and it is wide to the right. No good. Tanner Brown with just his 2nd miss of the season, 43-yard line. And on first down, swallowed up in the backfield. What a play by LaRon Stokes coming off the block to make the tackle for loss.
He's right inside. He does a really nice job of just winning right away. Runs right through the left guard, number 76, Richard Garage, and gets to the runner before he can even get started.
91 F check.
First Louisville tackle for loss brings up 2nd and 12. Four-man rush. Frost dumps it over the middle to Latulis, and Latulis caught from behind at the 47-yard line. A.J. Smith, the offensive coordinator, with a call.
There it is. Give me gold, 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 gold. 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 Give me trips left up. Dog D's. Trips left up. Dog D's. A61.
A61 on one, ready?
Get loud.
Third and 6.
There's no help over the top currently.
Look in that direction. Quick toss, almost intercepted. Eric Guerrer was there. It carried off his fingertips, incomplete, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, he tries to get this ball in there quickly. However, he has to be aware of the flat player. He's sitting and waiting, looking at the quarterback's eyes, and he breaks on it, and he is going to get to the sideline, look at the iPad, and say, I can't believe I let that one get away. But he plays defensive back for a reason.
So the Kings defense stands tall once more. And Ryan Sanborn to punt it away. Lucky Jackson from the 11. Oh, Jackson dropped. The tackle made by Gary Jennings, but a flag.
Face mask, number 5 on the tackle. Face mask.
Number 5. Number 5.
Yeah.
There is no foul for face mask. The tail was around the neck.
Your face, Jake. You can't use the fork. You got to just go face.
On first down, Rodgers batted down at the line and now back. Everybody's hanging on every. Did you get the pie bite? It took forever.
Devin's right. I got to use my hands. I'm a football player. I'll use my hands. No utensils
Yeah,
here.
get in there, Jake.
Your bride somewhere is just so proud of you right now. She's so very impressed.
He said go, right? Yeah. Ball to Ricky Bunch, 2 Jet. Go Z shallow. On Ricky.
This is nice. Let me look at this. This is pre on camera. If you're going to put it on.
Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty and witty.
Set. Blue at the eye. Blue at hello.
If you're going to do it, get into the spirit.
Go get him.
It's Derby week. 2nd and 10. Rodgers on the roll. Down the sideline, and he'll tiptoe out of bounds at the 22.
You ain't that fast. You ain't that fast.
So a big 3rd down call coming up. Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator.
I know.
But a defensive holding is the call. A late flag. Defensive holding and a 1st down for Louisville as a result.
Two-jet go. Z shallow.
Fall to Ricky Bunch. 2 Jet go. Z shallow. On one, ready.
So 2 Jet goes Z shallow. It's going to be a 6-man protection. The running back has the option of getting out. You hear him say, watch the corner, but you're going to get vertical with a shallow cross underneath.
Blue at the eye. Blue at the
Motion
eye.
from Jackson on 1st down and 10 after the penalty. Rodgers in the pocket. Again, an opportunity to make a play. Caden Prather couldn't pull it in.
Ball, NFL. Red ball, NFL. Red ball,
It's
NFL.
really unfortunate because it's a really, really good route by him and an accurate throw, but he's just not able to make the play.
Here we go, salute.
2nd and 10, draw play, and stumbling is James Robinson. He'll lose 2, and it's 3rd and long.
Come on, y'all. You got me?
Air fire. Air fire.
76, Z-drive, wide corner burst. Zip 2, Roy Bunch, 76, Z-drive, wide corner burst.
Zip to Roy Bunch. 76 Z-drive, wide corner, halfback burst already.
They've got to hurry up. They got a motion, so they've got to line up in the formation already.
Here we go, here we go.
And they're going to use a timeout from the sideline.
Oh, man. Come on. Can I celebrate? Come on.
They're 0 for their last 4 on third down. You saw the average yards to go on third. It's been a long third down nearly every time.
And a lot of that is because the production on first down is limited. They're not able to get 4 or more yards and put them in positions that are conducive to success throughout the drive.
Come on, let's go. Relax and play ball. Come on, folks. Let's go.
Chris Redmond, just relax and play ball. Former third-round pick out of Louisville to Baltimore, where he and his now defensive coordinator were teammates for a couple of years with the Ravens.
3-jet, wide shallow, Dago, already.
A Louisville legend, Chris Redmond, trying to coax his team on a 3rd and 12.
Here's the shallow aspect.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Rodgers with pressure, ice him the hit as he throws incomplete.
They do such a nice job with controlled pressure. Number 19, he's sitting on the outside. He comes, he doesn't run past the quarterback, right? He stays controlled, and now he puts that pressure on Rodgers. An outstanding job because he is a back-end football player. He is not used to being a rusher, but he showed great rushing technique there.
Mac Brown punting it away. Fielded at the 32-yard line by Sean Fresh, and Fresh trying to get to the right sideline. And he slips down out of bounds near the 41. But so far in this first half, 8 of 13, 67 yards.
Ready to go!
For the Battlehawk quarterback. And a 1st and 10. Frost in the pocket, heaves it down the field. He's got a man open, and he connects at the 28-yard line with Blake Jackson.
It's just all verticals, vertical here. And you read, what does this safety do? He moves off the hash, and so you throw it right down the numbers. Not a perfect throw, but acceptable. And a nice catch by the former Division III All-American quarterback, Blake Jackson.
I'm like, are you about to bring it?
Boyd Shetland a little banged up after that play for Louisville. And
what you got right here? What you got?
He's up and making his way to the sideline. So you look at what we're seeing from Harrison Frost, and a guy who hasn't played a lot of football over the last 3 years. He began his career at Mercer, finished at West Georgia, spent a couple of years with Hamilton in the CFL, but he's trying to shake off a lot of rust, and he's doing it with now the specter of the UFL's passing leader from the last 2 years, Luis Perez, looking over his shoulder after the trade last week.
This game has been what we've seen all season. Big plays like we saw just a second ago, but it's the layups, it's the in-between, it's the ability to consistently continue drives is what's going to allow him to keep his job.
28, Jacour Pearson on the end around, and he gets a yard to the 27-yard line. The difference with Perez is certainly experience. He's played a lot of football in the spring over the last several years, Devin, but when you look at what Luis Perez has time on task with the Battlehawks, is it enough to be effective coming in if he were to come in this week?
Yeah, that's a big part of what they're afraid of, because he hasn't been able to throw with the wide receiver that's full speed nearly enough to be extremely successful as he could, and you might be putting him in a bad position if you throw him out there.
Left side, picking forward and down to the 21-yard line goes Jarvion Howard. Very manageable third down coming up for these Battlehawks, looking to take the lead late in this first half.
Red. 2-5, go, 2-5, go. F out, 860, X smoke wide
on, Jude. Gotta go. 860 on one ready. Hey, if out left, you got the hitch.
Ricky Poole told us before this game, I just want Harrison to play a complete game. I want him to make the right reads. Sometimes I think the game's been fast for him.
Got man-to-man coverage. You want to get to Akeem Butler.
And it's dropped on the sideline by Stephen McBride, and it's 4th down.
So that's not a bad decision.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's not a bad decision.
Result is a 1st down.
So result of the penalty is a 1st down.
Come here. That's not a bad decision to throw to an open guy, but look at Akeem Butler. You've got 0 coverage. You've got to get to him right away. With no safety help, he's going to run right through the middle. If you're the quarterback, Frost, you can't turn down touchdowns with your best player playing one-on-one football.
Ready, go!
On 1st and 10 after the penalty, the carry for Latulis. Latulis, patient run, powers forward. He picks up 9.
NASCAR truck!
It's a really nice job by Latulis forcing that missed tackle because they had more in the box than Louisville did. Eric Garrow has to make that tackle.
On 2nd and 1, there may have been extra Kings on the field as they got that snap quickly. You saw some substitutions occurring. Big guys running to the sidelines. Did Louisville have too many men on the field?
Be smart, boys. Be smart.
It looked like they did.
Be smart, baby.
It's a nice job by A.J. Smith to hurry him up, seeing that they're trying to sub, but the offense did not sub. So you can snap that ball whenever you're ready.
Be smart.
Okay.
On the defense,
Good job, boys.
number 15.
UNR defense number 15 after the play was over.
Correct.
So we have 2 fouls on the defense, and they can only enforce 1. And they're going to go dead ball, 1st down, half the distance, right? Yeah. Number, you said
What they say.
number 15? Okay. There are 2 fouls, both on the defense. Too many men on the field, defense. That penalty is declined. After the play was over, personal foul, defense number 15. Number 98, correction, 98. That penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Travis Bell, former Bears 7th round pick in 2023 with a penalty.
Let's take a look at the middle of the screen here. Yep, that left hook. That left hook to Ashmore's face is what got him.
Celtics on turbo, ready?
And a 1st and goal now for the Battlehawks.
Ready, go!
And the flip to the sideline. Looping into the end zone, it's Gary Jennings with a St. Louis touchdown. It's a touchdown pass for Harrison Frost and a 9-3 Battlehawks lead.
It's a great play call, but it can't get started if you don't get it started. Take a look at your talented possible offensive player of the year, making a block and making sure that this play can get in the end zone. That is team football right there. And it's very smart of him not to kill Dantzler, right? You can't knock him out because that's a penalty. He just kind of screens him like a basketball play and allows for his runner to get on the outside. Jennings walks into the end zone.
Ahmed for the extra point. And that kick is no good. Ahmed missing it wide right. And it stays a 9-3 St. Louis lead. So Gary Jennings Jr. with the touchdown catch. His first of the season. But the extra point wide to the right keeps it at a 6-point Battlehawk game.
Kevin, how about the poise of Butler? Because that you can be so enticed when a guy doesn't see you coming to just decapitate him, because those defensive players will try to do it to you, but he doesn't, right? He shows you strength. He just kind of screens them, and it creates a huge cavity on the outside. And like I said, Jennings just walks in the end zone. Great call by A.J. Smith. Great block by Akeem Butler.
9-3 lead, but the 4th missed extra point of the season for St. Louis. Now 7 of 11 as a team on extra point kicks this year, and Ryan Sanborn will kick this one off. Still 2 timeouts, the 2-minute warning, and 2:39 to work with for Chandler Rogers and company. They won the toss and elected to defer. And fielded at the 5-yard line, Tyler Hudson had a good return early in this game, and Hudson twists out to the 35, where Rogers and the offense will go to work. But first, we check in with Jake Butt.
Hey, Keem, you got
1 second, I'm waiting for Gary.
you got 3 catches for 47 yards. What are you seeing out there from Louisville's defense?
They got a good defense with good players. But Gary, y'all always want to interview me. He scored a tud. It's all about him. It's all
What's
about
going on,
my dog.
Keem? How are you doing here?
You're doing well. What are you seeing out there?
Seeing a lot of ducks. Honestly, seeing a whole lot of ducks. Seeing a whole lot of
bring
ducks.
him in. We should
All right, thank you.
There's a penalty on the play on the deep shot downfield.
Illegal contact, defense number 29. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Yeah, it's a good call by the officials. He just collisions him about 15 yards down the field. Fresh, that is not allowed at this level. In college football, you can get away with this, but at this level, you have to be hands off once he gets past 5 yards. You can see there at about 13 yards, he collisions him. That's a penalty every single time, and easy yardage for the Louisville offense.
Switch. Oh, already. Burst.
At the 40-yard line, a first down and 10.
Mark 5-2.
Maybe the final play before the warning.
Blue at the eye. Blue at the eye.
Rogers under pressure, and Rogers is sacked. There is the stoppage.
We just see that toe's on the line. Got anything down the line? Okay, we're just going to look because we have possibly the toe on the line, and it is on the line. It's got to get that whole foot down.
I know. They wouldn't even send the ball
Okay,
yet.
we're going to see now. You see the foot. Actually, the toe is on the line. Showing a couple shots now on the TV. It's got to get the whole foot down in bounds, so we're going to reverse this to an incomplete pass. We're going to set it up for you now. We were 3rd down and 6, and the ball's at the 44 going out. So it's going to be incomplete pass, 4th down.
Please reset the play clock to 15 seconds. 25 seconds. 25 seconds. Thank you.
4th down.
That is huge because now Louisville has
After
to
further
punt the ball
review,
away.
the pass is incomplete. It is 4th down.
Now Louisville has to punt the ball away, and St. Louis has 3 timeouts left with 1 minute and 44 seconds to go. That is an eternity in UFL football.
Come on, we got to get him going now. Get him going. We got to be a leader. Come on. All right? These guys ain't that good. Yeah.
So Hakeem Butler and the Battlehawks offense going to have an excellent opportunity to add to their 9-3 lead. Mac Brown to punt it away. From the 6. And down. Let's see if Harrison Frost can get them up the field to add points. On first down, the toss, and it's incomplete. It was short to Ja'Cour Pearson.
And when you get in these 2-minute drives, Kevin, you always talk about getting the drive started. You've got an open guy. This has to be a catchable ball from Frost. And you know it's low when it's too low for Ja'Cour Pearson.
At 5'7".
Ready, go!
Blake Jackson in motion on 2nd down and 10. Frost over the middle. Good toss this time, and going up to get it is Pearson, the first down to the 44.
Hey, remember that teeter-totter we just talked about, Kevin? That's a lot of what we've seen from Frost, right? You throw a low throw, it's wide open, and then you layer a ball down the field perfectly to the same guy.
Turbo!
And a first down at the 44-yard line after a pickup. Clock stops where they set the chains. Now on first down, Frost to the sideline. Pearson, a little toe tap, and then out of bounds to stop the clock. A.J. Smith with the second down play call.
Okay, give me this. 53, 8 shallow, Z post. 53, 8 shallow, Z post.
53 on one, ready?
Yeah, you can see here that Z post is an option. It's usually an alert to try to get that ball down the field if the safeties aren't back.
Second down over the middle, and that's dropped by Pearson at the 40-yard line. He was open.
3rd and 5, 3rd and 5.
And Kevin, he's open. You've got to put that ball out in front. He's wide open.
Type 591, ex-Nebraska. Type 591, ex-Nebraska.
591. It's the most difficult thing to do, Kevin, when you're running full speed one way and that ball is off target behind you, and you got to try to pivot and make the catch. Frost has to find consistency on this drive. There's a real opportunity to get points before the half.
Frost tipped and incomplete. A wobbler out of the hand on 3rd down. And the incomplete pass stops the clock with 59 seconds to go in the half, and the punt team coming on for St. Louis.
Now, if you're Louisville, look what you have now. You have 2 timeouts. You get the ball back with about 49 seconds left, and you got a real opportunity to try to go get points.
Right now?
But that drive was a lot of that teeter-totter. You see a great throw, you see a bad throw. You see a great throw, you see a bad throw.
Fair catch called for and made at the 15. Lucky Jackson with the fair catch. Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator, setting it up with Louisville's worst start in field position of the night.
Red ball 5, red ball 5, red ball 5. Normal, red ball 5, red ball 5, red ball 5. Red ball 5, 2 jet.
Here Chandler Rogers really just taking control of this huddle in this moment. That's something that Chris Redmond told us he's been doing since before he became the starter, taking control and leading this team even when he was the backup quarterback.
Man free.
Yeah, Steve Logan said he's got quarterback in his DNA, and if you got quarterback in your DNA, 2 minutes is where you shine.
First down to the sideline, catch and out of bounds, Lucky Jackson.
Contrary to the St. Louis drive, you got to get the drive started. That's a good start there for Rogers.
Rip, OP2 jet, Pablo, X shallow.
Let's go, Rip, OP2 jet, Pablo, X shallow, on one ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Set. Blue at the eye. Blue at the
2nd and 3, pressure up the middle, and down goes Rogers. It's Peter Dalmoy-Penu, his 2nd sack of the night, and the 4th sack for the Battlehawks.
Yeah, and he goes swim move inside. He's on the right of your screen right there. He goes swim move, gets inside, and he's right in the face of Rogers before he can see downfield. That's a risky move if you're the edge protector, but he has help outside from Thomas, so it allows him to play inside on the offensive lineman and get straight to the quarterback.
Louisville using a timeout after the sack. 3rd down and 12 as we go downstairs to Jake.
Yeah, guys, you're seeing it, I'm seeing it, we're all seeing it. Louisville's offensive line is really struggling to protect, and I talked to some of them on the sidelines. What they're seeing from St. Louis is a ton of different pressure looks and different blitz packages. So it's about the communication up front and giving everybody on the same page so they can keep their quarterback clean. But Devin, I know you pointed this out earlier in the game. Specifically, the interior needs to hold up so there's room to step up in the pocket when the pressure does come.
And Jake, Dalmoy-Penu had the entire front 7 after practice, about 15 minutes after the practice this week, going through those different stunts and pressures to make sure for moments like this, they can get after the quarterback.
It was a St. Louis called timeout, so it's 3rd and 12, and the short throw is incomplete, looking for Ian Wheeler. 4th down, clock stops on the incompletion with 34 seconds to play in the half, and now the Battlehawks are going to get one last chance to put points on the board.
Kevin, this last minute and 44 seconds has been an odyssey in itself, right? You get St. Louis with 1 minute, 44 seconds, 3 timeouts. They got an opportunity, they get off the field. Then Louisville's like, oh my God, we got a good play on 1st down, and we're going to be able to move down, maybe get a field goal. Now they're going to be off the field. And now you got St. Louis, they're going to have about 27 seconds with 2 timeouts.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs. Punt fielded at the 45-yard line, and nowhere to go for Sean Fresh.
And if you're Fresh, you got to fair catch that. You got to fair catch that so you can save as much time as possible, because they have a kicker that can make a 60-yarder. I saw him making that practice. They put the pressure on him, and he drilled it right down the middle.
2 timeouts, 23 seconds to work with, and their best starting field position of the night.
Ready, go! Hi.
On first down. Frost, the heave, down the sideline for Butler, and it's incomplete. Lot of contact working against Bryce Hall. Then the ball hits Butler in the helmet, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, what Butler is looking at is this not holding? Is this not illegal contact? Because he goes, and the contact is initiated by 34, in my opinion. It distracts him, and now it hits him in the head. Like, that contact is initiated by Hall. I think they're going to win this challenge if they challenge it.
They are challenging it. They are throwing their challenge and asking that a flag be applied.
It looks like mutual combat.
I don't know about that.
Like mutual
he's got to run his route now. He's a, you got him, Mike?
I got you, yep.
That's really a flag.
Okay, we're going to look at the shots here. This one doesn't help.
Yeah, it's mutual combat. I don't know.
He's impeding his route.
Both guys are looking for the ball, and then they get kind of tangled up. See, both are playing the ball, and really then the offensive guy kind of shoves them. I mean, when 34 is looking back. See him looking back? Okay. Looking back. And then he pushes him down. I mean, I think that's what we look at, is we wanted to play the ball and to look back, and then that contact then, to me, is as much on the offense as the defense. I'm not going to allow the challenge here. We're going to decline the challenge. It's going to stay as an incomplete pass, and we will set it up for you.
After further review, there is no foul for pass interference. Second down.
I don't know, Pereira. The St. Louis fans at home, they may be at your doorstep.
The super challenge is lost. A timeout is lost. 1 timeout remaining.
I got one. I got the next one.
From the 45-yard line.
That was a very aggressive shot, and I'm just telling you, offensive coordinator A.J. Smith is not afraid to take another shot. If they don't get a safety over the top, you could see another shot to throw at Hakeem Butler.
Ready, go! Hide.
2nd and 10. Frost steps up in the pocket over the middle, skips it short, wanting McBride, and it's 3rd down with 10 seconds to go.
All right, think about getting a first down here, okay? First down. 90, hey, let's go 91, or trips left 61 X Indiana. Trips left 61 X Indiana. Steve-O on the switch corner.
61 on 100.
We can get it again.
So when you hear Indiana, that N in the beginning of the word, they're trying to get a deep in route to Hakeem Butler, the ex-receiver, right? So he's going to go here and inside to pick up the first down.
Frost taking a lot of time, throws over the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Corey Mayfield. Mayfield out of bounds, shy of midfield as the half comes to a close.
They got what they wanted in the
underway in Louisville. Tanner Brown will kick this off. And from the 10-yard line, looking for a little bit of space as Jennings stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Harrison Frost back to work.
Yeah, and we've seen some explosive plays, but there have been some layups that he's missed. Throwing in the coverage there, and then you got open guys, and you just can't hit them, and then you sail this ball, and it hits down on the ground. You have to hit guys when they're open. This is the latest example of Keen Butler open in the hole, and the ball sails over his head for an interception to end the half. Consistency is the key word for Frost in the second half.
They start on the ground with Howard, and Howard out to the 32 before he's driven back. A pickup of 3 on the play. And a 2nd and 7. Certainly would be a way to help your young quarterback if you can get that ground game going a little bit.
Absolutely. Leaning into the run game is going to be paramount because it takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback who isn't seeing it well, who maybe feels the pressure of the Spring King. Whatever it is, the running game will help that subside.
Ready, go!
2nd down and 7.
Easy, Lester. Turbo. Ready, go!
They bring pressure. Frost standing in, throws complete, and a 1st down across the 40 to Ja'Cour Pearson. Good poise in the pocket from Harrison Frost.
Not only that, he saw the blitz coming, and so he went to a beater, and he understands this ball has to be out quickly, but it has to be accurately thrown. He throws it right on that middle of the chest for Ja'Cour Pearson, and it's a 1st down pickup. That's a really good start for Harrison Frost.
8-yard gain to the 40-yard line and a 1st down.
Ready, go!
Back to the ground game, and the handoff to Howard. And Jarvion Howard. Good gain on 1st down. Give him 6. And it's 2nd and 4 for St. Louis.
The ability to have productive 1st down plays is what allows your quarterback to have success. Now on 2nd and 4, the entire playbook is open, and the defense just doesn't know what's coming.
Boston stared. Ready, go! Hide!
On 2nd and 4, Howard again, and this time a stone wall in front of him. Xavier Carlton, the former Cal Bear, with the tackle.
You don't gain any yards on that play, but because of the productive 1st down play, you're still in a manageable 3rd down opportunity. And remember, if they play number 88 man-to-man coverage, he has to get the football or at least a look.
Just 1 for 6 tonight on 3rd down. Can they cash in here? Frost with the pocket collapsing, floats it, and it's too tall for Hakeem Butler. And that's saying something. You had coverage from Cam Dantzler, and they cannot convert 4th and 4.
And if you're Harrison Frost, this is the consistency in footwork. The ball is late. Watch Butler. He's out past the 1st down. He's open. He starts to throttle down, and then the ball is high and behind. If that ball is out on time, it's an easy 1st down pickup, and that drive continues. Those are the consistent throws that you have to see from Harrison Frost. You didn't see it on that 3rd down opportunity.
And Sanborn now to punt it away. A promising start to that drive, but it ends up empty. A punt. 1. And from the 31, they go to work on 1st down, and Robinson, positive yardage this time, and out to the 37-yard line, Devin.
Yeah, that's going to help the percentage, but it's so important because it leads to other things. Let me explain. On 1st down, if you're able to get 4 or more yards, the percentage of you being able to pick up a 3rd down or having a manageable 3rd down, they go way up. To this point in the game, Louisville has struggled to pick up 3rd downs because of their 1st down production not being successful. Here, they get 6. Now they're in a position where they can pick up the 1st down even if they do get the 3rd down.
So a 2nd and 4, turn and hand to Robinson again, and Robinson stymied after a 1-yard gain. Blasted by Taylor Hawkins, leading the way for the Battlehawks. So now a 3rd down and 3 coming up. You heard Chris Redmond tell Jake Butt they needed to get the running game going. Back-to-back runs and a 3rd and 3.
Scat straight, already.
I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get Rodgers on the edge here. They haven't run the ball effective enough to feel comfortable going for a run here, but if you put him on the edge, he can make a play with his legs or his arm.
3rd down and 3. Over the middle, behind the intended receiver. He wanted Tariq Black, but he was behind him on the cross, and it's 4th down.
You can see this ball comes out a little premature, faster than the quarterback would like, and it's because of Peter Damoy-Penu. He doesn't always get the sack, but his presence, his pressure on the quarterback makes this ball come out a bit early, and the ball is thrown behind, and you're off the field again on 3rd down.
3 straight 3-and-outs, 4 total. As Sean Fresh is back at the 15-yard line. Explodes across the 25, Fresh to the 30. Out of bounds, shy of the 40-yard line. Good field position, though, for the St. Louis.
Hakeem Butler, then he is butt naked. There you go.
We appreciate the butt-naked definition. That's the definition of a blown-up running play. Nowhere to go. They were well clothed on this one.
Yeah, remember those clothes we talked about? This is the antithesis of butt naked. These defensive players are in the box. That's a safety coming down to make the play. Outstanding job there by number 7, Eric Garrow. He sees the stiff arm coming. Great technique to beat that arm down and get your face on his and push him out of bounds.
Yeah, Kevon Latulis had an Eric Garrow shirt, and he had several other pants from the Kings defense. Out of the backfield now, Latulis with room on the sideline. He slams on the brakes and a little bit of a skid as he ends up about a half-yard short of the 1st down, and now stays down after the big hit on the sideline. He's got to leave the game because they stopped the game for him.
Yeah, we just talked about butt naked, and that's what he was. He was wide open, and then he's trying to make a move, starts to kind of slip down, his foot gets stuck. And it's kind of awkward fall there. He got up fairly quickly, though, after they had already stopped play, so he does have to stay out for a play.
Kai Garner on the tackle to keep him short of the 1st down. 3rd and 1.
It's a nice job of Harrison Frost recognizing what the coverage is giving him. Going to go quarterback sneak here.
He'll sneak it, dives forward, and that last little surge as he stepped to the left gets him the 1st down.
NASCAR Zorro! NASCAR Zorro!
That's 1st down, right? Yeah.
Hey, stick!
It is 1st down, AJ. And on 1st down, the handoff to Kylan James to midfield. Back to AJ Smith with the 2nd down play call.
We got Keem right there. Good. Okay. Give me X and Z curl, F check. Tight. X and Z curl, F check, 91.
91, F check on 1, ready? Hey, go pretty quick if nobody comes.
Kylan James there at the end of that huddle break.
Ready, go! All right.
On 2nd down, it's James out of the backfield. He's got a 1st down, and inside the 40 is where he stopped. AJ Smith now with a fresh set of downs.
NASCAR Zelda.
NASCAR Zelda.
A little bit this way.
Ready, go!
NASCAR quick snap, that's dropped. The quick toss dropped by Ja'Cour Pearson.
We're fine. Red. Hum to trips right, 60, divide special. Hum to trips right. Hey, no. All right, change this. Detroit dog, gotta go. Hum to trips right, Detroit dog.
Detroit on 1, ready?
So after the 3rd drop by Ja'Cour Pearson, a 2nd down and 10.
Ready, go!
Offense, Detroit is a quick out, but you got man-to-man coverage here down at the bottom.
And it's almost intercepted by Eric Garrow. Leaping up in front of the pass from Harrison Frost. Nearly the pick.
Yeah, that was the quick out he was trying to get to the right of your screen. And when you're throwing this ball quick, that's a really good job by Eric Garrow on this entire drive. First a tackle for loss, and then he gets on that blitz path, settles his feet, and finds a way to jump up and almost have an interception.
3rd down and 10.
All right.
4-man rush. They set it up. Howard with blockers. 1st down and more. Howard inside the 15 and out of bounds at the Louisville 11.
Take a look at center and guard work in unison. First, they don't go out right away. They set, and then they throw the guys by, get out front, and there is nothing but green grass for number 44, 41 in silver, Javion Howard. It's an outstanding call by A.J. Smith, taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands and allowing your running back to pick up yardage.
It's Howard again, this time starting on the ground, and a yard is all he can muster on this first down carry. A.J. Smith with the second down call.
We're fine. We're in blue, blue. 2-5, go. Oh, is he out? Give me Hume to ace left. Tampa screen to Y. Hume to ace left. Tampa screen to Y.
Tampa screen to Y on one, ready?
So Hume is a motion, right? Where the Y is going to motion.
Here we go, here we go.
Different personnel.
Ready, ready, go! Hide.
10th play of the drive. Play action. Over the middle, deflected and incomplete. It went off the hands of James Bostic III. He had blockers in front. And now A.J. Smith's got to come up with a third.
Trio right. Trio right. Trips right. 860. Y and Z post H stick. I went X hook. Tango trips right up. 860. Y and Z post H stick. If you got the 9 solo, take it. Read it out. On you.
Ready, go! Hide.
Third down and 9. Frost to the end zone, leaping grab, touchdown, Stephen McBride.
This is a really nice red zone call. You're going to get a take-2 route from here, and then you get to play one-on-one outside on the post. A great call, a nice job of sacrificing by number 18, James Bostic, and then throw that ball up high and allow him to go rebound. Stephen McBride with the strong hands.
Way to step up and drop.
That's a free ball.
And the drive that Harrison Frost was looking for.
And it went through Buddy's arms.
He's gone through 9 different receivers tonight, and McBride's first catch of the night.
Safety, take your guy and the safety to open up for your buddy outside.
And a nice bounce back drive for Harrison Frost in this Battlehawks offense. Kickoff at the 5-yard line. Trying to find some space, and stopped shy of the 30 is Ian Wheeler. Jake Butt is on the sideline with Harrison Frost.
All right, Harrison, that was an outstanding drive. What did you see there that allowed you guys to put it in for the touchdown?
Yeah, on that last drive, you know, AJ's been doing a great job calling plays all day. We drew up the double post, and he said the Z was going to be open, and the Z was open, and luckily Steve made a great catch and a good play there.
Yeah, I thought his play calling was outstanding. The communication with you was outstanding, but that catch in the back of the end zone in traffic, what can you say about the touchdown from McBride?
Yeah, that's what Steve can do. Steve can really elevate. He has great hands, catches with his hands all the time, and he's a great player.
Great stuff, great throw.
First down, big hit on the catch right at the line of scrimmage, and Levante Bentley there to drop him. Devin, you played the position. You were a quarterback. How big of a boost is it for a struggling quarterback to have a drive like that, and how big of an impact is it to have the plays called to help you on that drive?
Oh, it's huge, because as much as we see that he's a little up and down, he can feel that he's a little up and down. So all those confidence throws we saw A.J. Smith get him allowed him to go down on that drive and finish it off with that perfect throw. That wasn't very easy.
Over the middle, Rodgers connects with Lucky Jackson. Very close to a first down, maybe a half-yard short. We'll see where they spot it. And it's third down. You see this offense, 1 field goal, 5 punts, 1 turnover on downs, 1 missed field goal. Chris Redmond's offense really helped last week with the run game. They've not been able to get it going, only 13 yards rushing tonight.
Yeah, the offensive line is kind of handcuffed Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator. He just doesn't know what to call because they can't protect.
And again, look at that penetration into the backfield. Absolutely no chance for Ian Wheeler. He got the handoff, he looked up, there were 5 Battlehawks around him.
Yeah, Bentley does an outstanding job of just shooting the gap. They're going to try to get a puller around, right? But the puller leaves, and there's a guy right in the middle of the defense, Jordan Williams. This is part of why this defense is so good. Not only the interior guys, they stand tall, but those linebackers, those safeties, they get involved in the run game and in the pass game behind the line of scrimmage.
4th straight 3 and out. And the punt fielded at the 13 by Fresh. Fresh to the 20. Fresh across the 25 and a diagonal out of bounds near the 30. Done. The game's too fast for him. We need the consistency. That was a consistent drive for Harrison Frost. Can he stack another one here as he starts on the ground with Jarvion Howard and nowhere to go that time? Kings defense up to the challenge with Travis Bell clogging that lane.
What really helped that drive also, Kevin, was the ability to run the football. So expect the Kings to say, hey, we're going to take that away and force you to drive the ball down the field so you can't get any of those comfort throws late in drives.
Such a critical drive, Devin, for both of these teams. St. Louis looking at a chance to put this away. Louisville needs a stop to give their offense a little bit of life.
Go!
Second and 10. Frost deflected it incomplete. He tried to fit it into Pearson. The coverage from DeAndre Prince.
Okay, go, 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 go. Trips left up, Tango, 861 markers. Trips left up, 861 markers.
So usually when you hear a play call and it says markers, you're gonna get all these guys to the marker and set up and allow the quarterback to pick his matchup.
Hey, Roger! Or no, Ralph! Turbo! Ready, go! No!
And the timeout, I believe, used. Yes, timeout called by St. Louis at that play clock winding down.
St. Louis.
So A.J. Smith will chat with his quarterback before 3rd and 10.
My bad.
No, you're fine.
What you saw there was Harrison Frost trying to protect himself with the protection, and he just ran out of time.
Could have had 7 up. All right, let's just go with what's working with this. Red, hum the trips left up, or shoot, red, hum the trips left, 61 divide special. Let's go. Go for what's working.
What is it? Huddle. Where you going, Trav?
So they worked this play in practice quite a bit. It's called divide special, and essentially it's all go. Where you're going to get cross action here, go down the field, go on the outside.
See where he goes on 3rd and 10. Kings bring pressure. Frost in trouble. Down he goes. A power rush to get to the quarterback from the UFL sack leader, Cam Gill.
And it's just a sprint to the quarterback right around the edge. He does an outstanding job of fighting through the hold. You don't want a holding call. You want to get to Harrison Frost, and he puts him on the ground.
Just what the Kings needed. A 3 and out and their first sack of the night. The punt for Sanborn. Lucky Jackson at the 25. Jackson to the 30. And Jackson down at the 34 in the arms of Gary Jennings Jr. Well, when you talk about defense with these Battlehawks, Peter Dalmoipenu has been really good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely right. It starts with number 7. He does such a nice job, whether he's rushing inside, rushing outside. He's improved on the run game, but he specializes in getting after the quarterback. Even if he doesn't make the play, he helps to make the play for others. A lot of times, he does make the play as well.
And as a result of his play and the rest of his teammates, you see their defense, 10 rush yards allowed, 4 sacks. Louisville had 3 first downs in the first quarter. Since then, they have 2, both by penalty. Play action. Rogers all day to throw now. Rogers will run, nobody open, and he slides after a gain of 2.
I ain't had no time to tell y'all. Watch the ball to Roy Bunt, 76 gold rush. Already.
Time winding down in this 3rd quarter. Louisville trying to find a pulse offensively.
Set. Blue 88.
Rodgers on 2nd and long. Gonna run again. Now he'll throw on the run. Going deep down the sideline. Incomplete. He wanted to find Caden Prather. Coverage out there from Sean Fresh this 4th quarter. Louisville's 0 for their last 9 on 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Rodgers, pressure comes. Floats it down the sideline. That's incomplete. Zach Davidson, the intended receiver, may have been held on his way to that football, but no flag.
Yeah, and this is another drop. I mean, he is held just a bit, but a perfectly thrown ball. He's in the slot right there winning, and that's what you want. When it's man-to-man coverage, the corner route is a man beater. I mean, he just drops it right in the bucket, and he can't track it all the way, and it goes right through his hands. He's having a rough day, Kevin.
Mac Brown punts it away. Fresh at the 13. And Fresh tiptoes out near the 25-yard line. Flag is down during the return.
Yeah. Was it prior to the kick, or it was during the kick? Okay. During the kick, hands to the face, receiving team number 56. That 5-yard penalty is enforced from the end of the kick. 1st and 10, St. Louis.
And Kevin, I don't know if you...
I mean, it's unbelievable how adept you are at this stuff when it's not real.
Boston on 1, ready? Boston. You coming down?
That is so mean, Kevin. It was a good one, though.
First down and 10 from the 7.
Ready to go! Hey!
On the ground, bouncing it is James. Maybe a yard for Kylan James. Now, A.J. Smith, your VR training that you were showing there, he actually coded that for his own offense, and his quarterbacks go through that. I remember talking with Brandon Silvers earlier in the year, and he thought that was a huge benefit to learn this offense quickly and learn where his coordinator wanted him to go with the ball.
Yeah, it's a game changer, and I'm just telling you, more teams around the country at every level should adopt it because it allows you to essentially get live reps and understand what's going on. Is a lot faster when you get those live reps without actually having to have the entire team there.
We saw Chandler Rodgers doing it the old way without a VR goggle set. Good find on 2nd and 9, and up the sideline is Kylan James for the 1st down. Harrison Frost going through his checks that time, and he found James to move the chains.
Kevin, he's feeling really good because he's in this pocket and it is collapsing slowly but surely. But he stands strong, finds a way, and just before he's attacked, he gets the ball out to his check down, and it allows for a nice run after catch. This is an outstanding job in a shot of his own end zone by Harrison Frost.
Out to the 33, a 25-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Anytime you can get 25 on a check down, I'm just telling you, Kevin, that's decent.
On 1st down, handoff to James, and Kylan James to the 36.
So when you're in the black zone,
has really stepped up here, Devin.
Yeah, Kevin, when you're in the black zone, the goal is, you do this drill in practice, the goal is really just 2 first downs, right? So you get 25 yards on that play. They've already won the drill, right? So if they were to have to punt, this is a win as far as they're concerned for St. Louis because of where they started. However, the way Harrison Frost is performing right now, they are looking to go get points on the board.
On 2nd and 6, Frost steps up, confident, tipped and incomplete.
I thought it was the same as the last time. My bad.
You heard a little confusion on that 2nd down play, now 3rd and 6.
Hey, bro, you seen that route? You seen that route? 591 on 1, ready? Hey, get really wide and fast. Ready, go!
On 3rd down, Frost, nobody open, buying time, checks it short, and nothing doing for Jarvion Howard. Tried to slip free, maybe gets a yard, but it's 4th down, and the punt team coming on for St. Louis.
Yeah, that's coverage by the Kings. They did an outstanding job of making sure that every guy is covered up. Harrison Frost tries to buy time, but that's a nice job of him. Like I talked about, we've already won the drill. We can punt the ball away and flip the field. Don't make a bad play worse. Find a guy or throw the football away. I like that drive from St. Louis.
Here's Sanborn to punt it away. Fair catch, offense from the 17-yard line, and a flag will back him up 5.
False start, offense number 63. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
1st and 15 coming up as we check in with Jake Butt.
Yeah, guys, I've been standing on this St. Louis sideline, and this defense has been absolutely dominant throughout the game, but their confidence is what really stands out to me. Listening to the defensive front talk, they feel like they are completely dominating the physical battle, and in the heads of this Louisville offensive line, you're seeing it there early with a false start.
Yeah, that's a great point. They have really taken it to this Louisville team physically and mentally.
Here we go, Sabu.
1st and 15. Catch made by Tariq Black, but right there on his doorstep is Neville Clark to make a good clean tackle.
And if not for the penalty on 1st down, that's a really good start to the drive, but it just puts you back to the original line of scrimmage.
Set. Black 85. Black 85, hot. Easy.
You got it again if you want it. Down at the bottom, you got really soft coverage.
Here we go.
From the St. Louis defense.
Rodgers looking the other direction, going for the deep shot down the sideline. Catch is made, and finally Zach Davidson able to secure one, and a big play into St. Louis territory with a 1st down.
And I'm just telling you, this is the most difficult one. He's in a slot fade, and the defender is all over him, and it's a nice combat catch. He's dropped plenty all day, but they call on him again, and he makes the play.
37-yard completion, and in trouble is Rodgers, and down he goes back near the 42. Swarmed by the Battlehawks with Jordan Williams leading the charge.
They came for you at the middle.
Michael
really
Barrett
nice
there
job
as well.
Yeah, Michael Barrett, the former national champion, Michigan
Rip,
Wolverine. We got safeties coming out of the back end. I mean, it is a free-for-all getting after the quarterback. He evades one, and there are tons to follow.
Rule 88. Rule 88.
Rodgers on 2nd and long over the middle finds Davidson again. Remember, they crossed midfield, so they cannot punt this football. They're going to have to go for it regardless of what the 4th down is if it gets to that point.
Bingo. Here we go, Sabu.
On 3rd down, Rodgers intercepted. It is picked off. Stepping in front of it is Neville Clark, and he's got his 2nd interception of the year.
This is such a nice job by Neville Clark. He's on the outside right here. He's in man-to-man coverage, and he has a technique where he has his eyes on his wide receiver. However, when he feels the break, he gets eyes on the quarterback, sees the ball thrown, and his instinct takes him to the football. An outstanding catch by a defensive back.
And from the 41 on 1st down, back to the ground goes Jarvion Howard. No gain on the play. And back to the interception thrown by Rodgers.
It's essentially a race to the football. He sees the route, recognizes it, and he beats the wide receiver there. An outstanding play by that defensive back.
Boston stare on one ready.
It's a one-hand catch, Kevin.
It's pretty good.
A little bowling to follow.
And a strike.
Usually the bowler doesn't fall, though.
No.
Ready, go!
Unless you really put a lot of English on that.
Yeah.
Or they had just oiled the lane. 2nd down. And a yard, maybe 2, to the 30, to the 44-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down, and that clock will continue to run. It'll be under 8 minutes before they snap it again.
Come on now. 8-16 1-on-1 ready. Maybe a nigga pull mine.
On 3rd and 7. Over the middle. Catch made. 1st down. Running free was Blake Jackson, and Harrison Frost found him to move the chains.
There was a ton of confusion, Kevin, by the defense. They're in man-to-man coverage, and they're trying to communicate. You have him, I have him, and they can't figure out who has who. Take a look to the left of your screen. They're still trying to figure out, I have him, no, you have him. And by the time they figure it out, the ball is snapped, and it's a completion for Frost.
Ready, go!
Core Pearson in motion. 1st down handoff and a loss on the play. Into the backfield, Travis Bell yanking down Kylan James. St. Louis getting a lot of what they want on this drive, Devin. Mainly that clock could continue to move towards the end of this game.
I heard you, Kevin.
Hey, come here, hold on. Hey, this play. Hey, 52 on 1.
You can see St. Louis, is not their nature to go slow,
Here we go,
but they're starting to slow things down.
Ready, go!
Let that clock bleed away.
2nd and 13. Snapped it with 1 on the play clock, floating that pass out into the hands of Stephen McBride. And McBride, a minimal gain, but he stays inbounds. That clock continues to run after he picks up 4.
And if you're defensive coordinator Jamie Sharper, what do you go to here? You've tried everything. You tried zone, you tried man-to-man, and A.J. Smith has had answers. The one thing that's happened for Frost is he hasn't always been able to capitalize on the inability of your defense to cover everything up.
4-down territory because it has to be. They're across midfield.
Ready, go!
Middle of the field open.
Frost steps to the right, incomplete in front of Pearson. So now it's 4th down. They can either try a very long field goal or they can go for it on 4th. Those are the options.
I think you go for it here. I don't think you try a field goal. You got the risk of it getting blocked or being short in the return. Now you got offensive linemen trying to tackle. I would rather just try to go for it. If you don't get it, you trust that your defense continues to play lights out the way they played all night.
Play clock winding down.
Come on, ready.
They're going to have to take a timeout here. And that's exactly what they do, use their 2nd timeout.
All the Blake lined up to the left, though, and like, you know.
We need to go on 2. I want to get the best play call in and go on 2. This is what we're going to do. It's right up. Go on 2. On Tuesday. X true streak. Tango. X true streak. Kansas special. Let's go.
1-2. Kansas special. X true streak. Hey, huddle.
So what you heard there, a lot
2.
of times in offenses, the 2nd day of the week, we call it Tuesday. That's going on 2, right? So that's the opportunity to steal free yards, allow Frost to see what the defense is doing, and then you heard true streak, but now they changed their mind and they're going to kick a field goal.
They're going to try a long field goal here. So Ramiz Ahmed comes on. A 4-point field goal try for Ahmed. Remember, we told you he kicked from 61 yards in practice earlier this week. He hit a 61-yarder with the Maulers in the USFL. This is a 63-yard try for Ramiz Ahmed.
The one he made in practice, Kevin, it had plenty of juice, and it would have been good from 63.
Good snap, good hold. Ahmed's kick has the accuracy, but it does not have the distance. It's 3 tonight. The run game has been ineffective tonight, but they're in this game. Down 13, short field, 1st down and a sack again. The 6th St. Louis sack. This time Travis Feeney gets to Chandler Rogers.
It's a big mistake by the left tackle. You take the big and you allow the outermost guy to come free. He allows the inside guy closest to the quarterback to get to his quarterback right away. That's a big mistake up front for the offensive line. And how about the veteran number 56, Travis Feeney, getting the quarterback down?
UFL Sportsman of the Year with the Battlehawks last year.
Here we
The
go.
Washington product gets the sack. Rogers on 2nd and 23 to the sideline, complete to Peyton. The tackle by Luke Barku, and it's now 3rd and long.
Yeah, at practice, Kevin, I talked to Feeney, and I'm like, man, you're looking a little slim these days. He said, yeah, I lost weight, and it's allowed me to be a lot quicker off the ball, getting to the quarterback. And you saw an example of that right there. He got to the quarterback in a hurry.
Shock dragon.
For Travis Feeney, Kakaw has been the law since 2023. He has been with the Battlehawks a long time.
5-0. Set. Blue 88. Blue 100.
3rd and 15. On the slant, catch is made. Sets up a much more manageable 4th down try with Tariq Black's catch.
Black, black, black. Black, 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 black.
The one thing you have to notice, down 2 scores, you haven't had a bunch of production.
Time out.
Chandler Rogers still is showing a ton of poise as if he may be even winning this football game.
Timeout is called by St. Louis. They use their final timeout before this 4th down play.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
And Kevin, I can't tell you how difficult that is to stay poised when you've been under pressure over and over and over again.
Let's go. Won't get through. Hey, 4th and 3 now. 4th and 3. Shot dragon there. 377.
If you go, just play again.
3:41 to go. 4th quarter, down 13 and a 4th and 3. Chandler Rogers has been sacked 6 times tonight, trying to find a way to rally this team late at home.
Set. Blue 88. Blue 100.
Battlehawks show pressure. Here it comes. Rogers to the air, and it's dropped into the hands of Javante Payton. He couldn't secure it, and a turnover on downs.
You got exactly what you want. You got loose coverage from the defensive backfield. You got the 1st down yardage, and you just don't finish the play. An accurate throw and a good decision by Chandler Rogers, and the ball finishes on the ground.
And big story of the night tonight, Devin, has been missed opportunities, a run game that has not been able to help, and an offense stymied by a stifling Battlehawk defense.
Yeah, you've got the inability to run the football, accompanied with pressure on the quarterback in the pass game, and a number of drops from multiple teams tonight.
And nowhere to go as Bryce Hall makes a good tackle on Blake Jackson.
Mike, no!
Flag down.
All right.
Way to catch it, bro. I know, bro. And it was out the gate.
After the play was over, flagrant personal foul, number 22, Louisville. That player is ejected. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And Jalen Allen ejected. Headbutt.
Yeah, you see him right at the top in the middle of your screen. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's a flop. I think that is the force that it took to put Neville on the ground. That was a violent personal foul penalty there. I agree with the call to eject him from the game.
Strong right, Celtics.
Oh, no! Lock in and finish.
So Allen's night is done.
Come on. Lock in and finish.
And Louisville's night is on life support here. Clock running. First down and 10 for the Battlehawks at the 46 of Louisville.
Hey, easy, 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 easy. We're good. We're still going to run it. Here we go. Here we go. Ready, ready, go. All right.
A gain of 1. St. Louis trying to secure this road win and move to 4-2 on the year. And more importantly, it gets them off that teeter-totter that we showed you earlier. They had gone win, loss, win, loss, win. And now a chance for Ricky Prohl's team to stack back-to-back wins and move to a 4-2 record.
And he's got to be happy with what he's seen from Harrison Frost here in the second half. And really, the end of the half, going into the second half, he really found some consistency after the halftime. And I don't know what the conversation was, but he's done a much better job of hitting those layups. And he's also been able to execute on some big plays downfield as well.
Well, Devin, we've heard it. There's so much audio access in this league. We hear almost everything. He has sounded more confident in this second half. He sounded more in control of the huddle and more in control of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, a perfect example is what we just saw when he goes easy, easy. He was just alerting everybody, hey, I'm not going to snap the ball, so rest. Right? Don't get in your stance just yet. We're on a milk more clock. And he just wants to have his offensive line wait a bit, and then he gets into calling the play. That's poise, right? That's poise. And understanding the moment, understanding how to serve your offensive linemen, knowing that they're in their stance and that's not something that you want, and you're holding off the King of Spring as well.
Well, that's a nice response from a quarterback whose coach has said, I need to see more from Harrison Frost. He's shown him more in this second half tonight. And the run over the left side for Howard down to the 42. Timeout used by Louisville, their second. And will bring up a third down for St. Louis. Well, we've talked about Harrison Frost's confidence, but that confidence has come in part because he's had a defense backing him up tonight.
Yeah, when you've got a defense playing the way they're playing, it really makes you feel a lot better. You don't have to press. You don't have to force things, because you understand that if I punt this football away, that's not a bad play. My defense is likely going to get the football back. And they've done an outstanding job tonight. Defensive coordinator Corey Chamberlain, he has been good all year. His defense has been good all year, and they've made good on their promise that they will stop this offense from putting up 47.
West Coast to best coast.
Another stat to those numbers. St. Louis. Well, we've talked about Harrison Frost's confidence, but that confidence has come in part because he's had a defense backing him up tonight.
Yeah, when you've got a defense playing the way they're playing, it really makes you feel a lot better. You don't have to press. You don't have to force things, because you understand that if I punt this football away, that's not a bad play. My defense is likely going to get the football back. And they've done an outstanding job tonight. Defensive coordinator Corey Chamberlain, he has been good all year. His defense has been good all year, and they've made good on their promise that they will stop this offense from putting up 47.
West Coast to best coast.
Another stat to those numbers you see on the screen: 6-3 and outs pitched tonight by that Battlehawks defense.
Ready, ready, go! Hard.
On 3rd and 6, look at the power at the end of the run for Jarvion Howard. Gets the first down.
Hey, boy.
And that's going to take us down to the 2-minute warning, and the Battlehawks.
That was insane. I didn't mean
a ground game that's worked in the second half. A quarterback in the Kentucky Derby this weekend.
And Kevin, we've got to give credit where credit is due. Rich Dewey, our magnificent director, with a great graphic there.
Do we have to give credit where credit is due?
It's very important to do that. We can't allow them to think that was you and our brainchild. That's Rich Dewey.
No. There's no way we would sign our name to that.
Come on, bro.
Second down at 11.
You want to go? What time up?
Producer Mark Titleman just making sure everything stays between the navigational buoys in the final minute 25 of this one.
Here we go. Ready, go.
2nd and 11. Handoff again, and reversing his field is Howard. Howard with a stiff arm. Howard to the sideline, and Howard goes out of bounds right near the line to gain. It's a first down for St. Louis, and St. Louis is going to be able to just finish this one off and clinch that 4th win in 6 tries this season.
Yeah, and this has been really impressive to see them continue to stand tall defensively. But this roster, right, this is a really good roster. I was talking on the field at practice with Carlos Davis, and he was talking about the depth on the defensive line and all around this roster. And he's like, man, I don't know who put this team together. Well, it was Ricky Pro. In his first opportunity as a head coach, he had a big hand in being the general manager as well, building this roster, and he's done an outstanding job, and they're starting to really find their groove.
Well, and he had a young quarterback take a step or two today as well. You see the remaining schedule. The Aviators, 2 games against the Gamblers, and then closing with Dallas the final weekend of the season. Some winnable games on that schedule in the second half of this season for the Battlehawks after a win here in Louisville tonight. And Frost will take one more knee. And Harrison Frost and the St. Louis Battlehawks come into Louisville and get a 16-3 win over the Louisville Kings, snapping their 2-game winning streak, sending the Kings to 2-4.